Hi, it's David from Gadgets Grub. Happy 4th of July. I hope you're ready and have a very special weekend planned. We have something for you that you're going to enjoy making as well. It's Gadgets Grub, and we're going to use that lemon juice that we squeezed on Sunday for Carolina Day. And I have a very special guest with me today. It's Ruth Miller, my wonderful neighbor and friend, who's a noted local historian and author who organized walking tours in 1979 in Charleston. So Ruth is going to tell us about a very special spirit that we're going to use as the base for a punch. So what is that spirit, Ruth?
So David, what I want to talk about today is Madeira, which was the favorite drink of the wealthy elite in colonial days. It is what the gentlemen toasted the Declaration of Independence with, and it is what George Washington served at his inauguration. So Madeira was expensive and highly, highly favored. It only comes from one place, the island of Madeira, which was the refit port in the slave trade. And thus, the ships would stop at Madeira and get their last supplies to make that long journey to the Americas. Well, a Dutch ship stopped at one point and discovered the wine they were making and filled the ship with wine. They took that wine around to the East Indies this time and discovered that the longer it sat in the heat, the better and better it became. So Madeira, strangely, is the one wine that improves with heat. Our great mansions downtown tended to have Madeira Gadget. Garrets, get that word out right. You're the gadget person.
Absolutely, for sure.
I'm making it a gadget. Okay, so they would actually have garrets up in their attic, and that's where they stored Madeira. So we have examples where on a Columbus Day, one of our families removed over 200 bottles of Madeira to celebrate that one day.
Ooh, I bet they were happy after that.
I'm sure they were. So I brought a invoice from 1818 that shows how people would have Madeira parties in those days. They would drink it for hours and hours and hours. But Thomas Jefferson was known for Madeira parties. He loved to have Madeira parties. And so what we have here is a gentleman who obviously, this is downtown Charleston, is getting ready to have a party because you can see he buys a dozen bottles of Madeira, he buys a dozen bottles of port, and to go with it for his party, he's going to have almonds and raisins.
We have some almonds and raisins here too that we'll be able to enjoy. So what goes into a punch, Ruth? There are 5 ingredients that have to be included in a colonial punch. What were they?
So we need our alcohol. And we are going to use Madeira.
Madeira.
Yes.
So let's put some Madeira in a punch bowl.
Okay.
And Ruth, why don't you step back just a little bit so that we can see.
There we go.
So we're going to use this recipe, which I've included in the description. I'm going to use 1 bottle of Madeira. The recipe uses 68 ounces, but I've retooled it so that you can use a full bottle of Madeira. So full bottle of Madeira, and I'm using a dry Madeira here.
Okay.
That is really pretty, a gorgeous amber color. So full bottle of Madeira. And Ruth, what are the other ingredients that are needed?
So now, to continue on, we need our spirit. It's already there.
In there, okay.
Now we are going to add to that lemon juice.
Lemon juice, alrighty.
Yes.
And you remember the lemon juice from Sunday, Carolina Day, and our gadget to ream the lemons, lemon juice. What else?
It needs a citrus flavor, so that is that.
Our lemon juice.
Now we need a sweetener.
Sweetener, so we have sugar. We have sugar. We're going to add to our punch. And I'm able to use this really wonderful antique cocktail spoon from Croghan's in downtown Charleston to mix that sugar in. And it's going to dissolve very nicely, especially on a hot summer day. There's our sugar. And then what else do we need?
Now we need to add water.
Water.
And actually this is the main and chief ingredient because it's why they could drink these punches for hours and hours and hours.
Wow.
We're actually looking
That's
what
gorgeous.
is going to become the precursor of the cocktail.
Amazing. And then there's one other ingredient that we're going to grate over the top of the punch. And we're going to use a rasp. This is a microplane grater. Our forefathers would have used a rasp. So we're going to use this to grate nutmeg, which is the inside of mace. So the seed has mace on the outside and nutmeg on the inside. So we'll put the spice over the top of our punch. So let's have some punch, Ruth. Let me pour you some punch. I have a couple of different punch ladles out, in fact. Both an old antique one of my mom's and an antique George and Martha Washington Sterling punch ladle as well. So may I serve you?
Absolutely. So some sad trivia is the British, who also valued their tea, decided they could use tea instead of water. That gave them that exotic, quote, spice flavor, but also helped to dilute your all-night drinking.
I think that's a party I would have enjoyed, all night drinking. Let me get one myself too. So I'll grate some nutmeg over the top of my punch.
And here we go.
So how are we going to toast?
We're going to use what the founding fathers would. The cheer is Huz-ZAY, Huz-ZAY.
Huz-ZAY, Huz-ZAY,
Huz-ZAY,
Huz-ZAY. Happy Independence Day from David and Ruth at Gadgets Grub. I have the complete recipe in the description from the Dayton Hall Preservation Trust. Try it. I think it's going to be your new favorite cocktail. Don't forget to save the liver. Have a wonderful 4th of July. Safe, happy, healthy, and have some Madeira punch. Huz-ZAY, Huz-ZAY, Huz-ZAY.
Huz-ZAY.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is good.
It's really delicious. You have to try this. Bye.
Bye-bye.